Welcome everybody to our crypto spiritual energy update here for the week of the 20th till the 26th of April 2018. Yes, and I'm wearing a green shirt as promised, maybe not bright green yet. And if you look at the energy barometer here, it's looking better, okay? So we're getting to a place where the market cap and also the prices are primarily in the green area. Bitcoin futures are sort of undecided, so this is a good sign. We're moving into a shift, and this shift actually reminds us why we came here in the first place, to this crypto world that fascinates us, why we are enthusiasts in the first place, whether we are interested in the technology, in the careers, or in the innovation that is in that, or whether we are simply interested in it as energetically sensitives because we feel something here. We feel something like a breakthrough or like a liberation from, say, the existing a fiat system, and we disagree with how the central banks are manipulating prices, interest rates, and so forth. So if this is of your interest, then you are at the right place here. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy healer, and yes, this is unusual, reflecting and reframing some of the things that we see in the crypto market here as reflection of sort of the current collective emotional or energetic sentiment. All right, so what you see here, this energy barometer, is somewhat of an experimental gauge that I've developed, bringing the sort of collective energies that are coming in here through the work that I do at transCODES as energetically sensitive, as visionary, and working with hundreds of people from all over the world, determining sort of what we can look at based on this energetic sentiment. So I just finished the collective energy update. It was a long one here this week, a few minutes ago, and if you want to refer back to some of these energies that I will not really explain here because I want to reflect on the crypto market, but then you can watch the collective energy update. You may understand a little better what I am talking about. Okay, and I promise that I won't use too much of the energy lingo here. I don't want this to sound woo-woo, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge that this is not like a crystal ball or fortune telling or anything like this. I'm reflecting on actual energies that energetically sensitives are picking up from all over the world. All right. Well, let's look at the market a little bit. I've referred you to many beloved YouTubers here that do daily updates, or sometimes even several times a day, that give you a wonderful overview. You will find my top picks here in the description of the video, and I've also and I strongly recommend this, especially now where we are like sort of in this preparation time, where things are going from the innovators, the crazy people, into the early adopters, to explore the options here for your career in these emerging blockchain and crypto technologies. Okay, so sign up for programming courses. If you've never programmed before, I recommend you to go visit Ivan on Tech. Has a wonderful coding program here starting June 1st. And get yourselves ready. Literally, you are so early in the game that if you start from scratch right now, in 6 months, you can be up there. There's huge opportunities, a huge demand here in the crypto world for experts, for coders, but not only coders, also, like I said last time, accountants, lawyers, video graphics, front-end designers. All this is where all the investment money in large companies is going now. So if you don't know what to do, or if you have an issue with abundance or with lack, then redirect your energy into these things that help you to get where you want to be in the future. And within the crypto market, just like the innovation cycle itself is so short in the crypto market, because we're dealing with software here. All right, this can happen within a very, very short amount of time. When you're dealing with products, with manufacturing, you're dealing with, building a factory or finding a manufacturer and stuff like that. To produce a product and to innovate a product takes 1 to 2 years. But here in the software industry, it only takes 3 to 6 months. So things can be completely different by the end of the year, and they will be. That I can promise you already. But understand, you know, that this is not just a hobby thing, that this is a real opportunity. And I'm showing something here on the screen just to give you an idea of why, you know, we were interested in the crypto market in the first place, and why this is such a great opportunity right now. This is statistics here showing the amount of money circulating and where it circulates, right? Where it's located right now from, I think, August 2017. So this is already overhauled. Back then, the circulating fiat money that went into Bitcoin was only 66 billion. Now we're talking about 350 billion. And this number was already significantly higher and then sort of retracted back a bit due to a lot of FUD, due to a lot of negative media, you know, due to the regulators not entirely sure how they're going to treat cryptocurrencies, whether it's tax-wise, whether it's accounting-wise, whether it's a security or not. Okay, so ignore this for a minute. If you have not been observing the crypto market in the last 6 months, you basically don't see much of a difference. And at a sort of stable foundation that Bitcoin is building now around $8,000, we're looking at, you know, like a really good time now to re-engage with the market. So those of you who came in, like say in November or December, and then got shocked and lost a lot of money, or, you know, just hodled your way through, you know, hoping that things are going to look better soon, it is looking better now. Okay, so we're at this point now where we're looking at all this pressure, this buying pressure that was held back through these various reasons that we've already illuminated in the past weeks, is starting to come in. All right, and just as a reminder, there's tons and tons, this, you know, not even counting the money that can be printed in the meantime, okay, that is sitting there waiting to flow into the cryptocurrency market. All right, so don't forget that this is not just about the green numbers, you know, this is not just about, you know, how much profit you can make in a day. This is a whole new revolution, a whole new innovative cycle here for our economies. All right, and so it is only rational to expect that all this this capital that is sitting there ready to invest, that it will go into cryptocurrencies. And that's why I want to remind you that investing and allocating your resources into adapting to this and learning about cryptocurrencies, you know, not necessarily just the coding part, but also the other aspects that come in with this will greatly benefit you, especially if you are of the younger generation. And I've mentioned this last time, here at Crypto Spiritual, we've just founded a new company called Crypto Staffer, and we will offer recruitment service for people in the crypto industry here, and we hope that those of you who are looking for experts and those of you who are looking for job allocations, you know, that you will take notice of us. So there will be more to come. I'll keep you informed. So it's the shift that is happening now, and we need to adapt this, and this is why I called this energy update here Engage. All right, yes, and I forgot to greet you guys. Thank you for coming. This is a live recording, and this is a wonderful opportunity, you know, also to ask questions or to reflect on things. And I love seeing where you guys are from Korea, from Ireland. Yes, and you haven't seen the barometer there before. This is right, because the energies, the sentiments are relatively positive. Now, they're not in the green yet, which means we're still in this transitory phase. Okay, so you for those of you who are willing to take the risk and live with a little bit of volatility for another 2-3 weeks, you know, this is okay. But for those of you who are seeking, you know, just basically cryptocurrencies where you can park your money at and leave it for a couple of years, I always suggest that you look at the more conservative, the big four, or big five, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, simply because they are sort of the springboard. They're the starting point for most people and most technologies. They form a part of the infrastructure, even though these currencies, not all of these, have an infrastructural purpose. However, we talked about this in the past a little bit. It is very safe, to invest into these crypto currencies, and the word currency is actually misleading, because most of them are actually not really, or don't have the purpose of a currency. But it is a safe bet to look at those coins or those tokens that offer infrastructure. Okay, and so we've seen a lot of discussion here in the last week about some of these infrastructure tokens, such as Ethereum, such as EOS, and also Verge. And I want to, really, stress out that you have to make your own research here. This is not financial advice, this, and there's this DIR, like do your own research, that circulates as meme in the crypto sphere, for a good reason, because you have to really feel this out. There's been a lot of positive and negative news in the last week about EOS, which is a really nice platform, comparable to Ethereum. Of course, not comparable in the sense of that it doesn't even exist yet, but it provides a programming environment for those of you who are interested in developing new technologies, or who want to learn how to do smart contracts, So EOS is very promising, but it can, of course, at this point only be called like a speculative investment, whereas things, platforms such as Ethereum, who basically provide the train tracks, provide the infrastructure for a lot of these, what we call the ERC20 tokens, tokens that ride on those train tracks. So you have to understand that the infrastructure in the blockchain provides, so to speak, like a shortcut or an easy way for other new tokens, to just basically mirror this and to replicate this. So Ethereum, for instance, provides sort of the foundation for a new token that wants to be developed by simply using the existing infrastructure, and that's is something that you need to keep in mind, why infrastructure tokens are interesting to look at, but why you need to do a little bit of discernment here. We will look at my 2018 HODL list here in a little bit that I published in December, and you will find a lot of infrastructure token in there. But the main thing of the shift here now is that, that the attention is going back to altcoins, it's going back to investment, and it's also a really good time to look at ICOs again, because as soon as Bitcoin stabilizes, people don't really look at Bitcoin that much as investment anymore. They just look at it as an indicator. So we're getting into this place where it's stable enough now to look at altcoins again. And some of the aspects that will certainly be very interesting here for the next 6 months is, of course, once more the decentralized exchanges, wallet tokens, and things that have to do with data management. And you know this about me, I'm an enthusiast for the cryptocurrencies and blockchain, mostly because of my own history, coming from a place of having been in the software industry back in the days when internet first emerged, and I can see the same energies coming up, and sometimes even the same people, which is very reassuring, because there was a time of frustration here, with some of us good doers, how big corporation and so forth, and how they monopolize things through centralization. And we're seeing an opportunity to liberate ourselves from this right now. So this is part of my personal enthusiasm on the side note here, but really what I want to say with this is that there's a lot of stuff coming forward right now that has to do with data management, data security, and our power to own our data. And you may have followed the issue here in the United States with Facebook. And this is a very, very good example. So as long as you allow Facebook and Google to manage your data, you have to know that you are not owning your data, okay? And this is something that needs to be changed in the future. And there are some cool companies that are launching products here on the blockchain that provide you, so to speak, to take ownership of your own data and not only secure it, but also to decide whom you want this to see, whom you want this to be able to use for marketing, whom to commercialize this, and to even get paid. So data management and data sharing, personal data sharing, those are big, big subjects. Looked at those companies that are coming forward there. One of the things that came to my attention this week is Robinhood. Robinhood is a sort of a pirate stock trading company that allows you trading for no fees. Okay, literally no fees. And they've opened the gates now for crypto trading a couple of days ago. Check out Robinhood. Let me know what you think about this. And maybe I'm doing a poll on the Crypto Spiritual Facebook group where we exchange this kind of experience with another. Hey Val, hey from London, hey from Chicago. Yes, wonderful. Thank you guys for letting me know that you're here and where you're from. Some other things that came into the news here this week is the introduction of the Lightning Network to Bitcoin. So there's another fork that's coming up, and there's some new technologies, new field communication and stuff like that. Guys, if I talk, and I can't really, I don't even have the knowledge, but I can't go too deep into the technology here. Please use those YouTubers that I've mentioned in, like Ivan on Tech, like crypto advisors, like JSnap, Crypto Blood, Nakamotorized. Those are some of my favorites, to get a little more in-depth knowledge, not just news. And of course, if you want to watch entertaining updates, not consistently, but more and more consistent, and watch Crypto Daily, one of my personal favorites. And I'm glad you're back. Thank you. So so there's a lot of stuff that is emerging now, and you have enough sources of information here. When it comes to data security, I just want to basically recite a remark that Ivan on Tech made a couple of days ago, and that is this fear of hackers. The fear of hackers is really irrelevant. Don't buy into that fear. It's more the scammers that we need to be worried about. And there was a big 50 million ICO scam here this week again. We don't know yet if it is for real or not, if it was just sort of a prank. But those things are much more concerning, because there are so many newbies in this market that the redirection of your funds, or the redirection of your attention, to phishing sites and so forth, through clicking links, through not bookmarking things, and simply not knowing how to navigate through this is a much bigger danger. And I think if I remember this right, the overall number or percentile of funds that are lost sort of in the crypto market is over 20%. Just due to not just scammers, but also the really cryptic technology at this point. I spent 5 hours on Fork Delta here the last couple of hours trying to make a few transactions work, and this is really the big pain that we have right now, which is why I strongly recommend you guys to look into these wallet software, and payment processing that we talked about last week. My big favorites here are Pillar and Ethos. I've told you this many times since almost a year now, I'm talking about Pillar, and there may be things that you don't like about Pillar, but they have the advantage of or the potential of really being one of the first to come out with something that's really user friendly. Coinbase is adapting to more currencies, obviously, in the future. They've done a big deal here, buying into, starting to buy up other crypto companies. So we're going to see some of that, here in these next 6 to 9 months, where there's a consolidation happening. But keep an eye, on these big players, and try to find the software that works for you. As far as wallets is concerned, I like Exodus, guys. I didn't used to, but I do now. They've changed the software. It's getting better. But once more, the wallets are not a replacement for storing your tokens safely, especially if you just want to buy and then store them. You have to use hardware wallets at this point. But last week I mentioned how if the software development there improves, then it is possible to use our phone for such purposes. However, it needs to be secured, with your phone company, because there are some things that people can retrieve about your phone without you even knowing. Anyway, so it's looking good. We have, a startup here again. We have a start signal, from the grassroots community. The communities are getting active again. Everybody's waking up. Interest is there. News is a bit more positive. FUDs getting filtered out faster. So we're looking at a good signal here. And I would strongly suggest that you get ready. All right, get ready for participating in the second quarter run that we're all expecting. Set yourself up, with learning how to use exchanges. It's very important that you understand that some of the exchanges that it requires time and patience when you deal with them. When you work with them, you have to get Ethereum in there first, and you have to wait and so forth. You have to understand or gas prices and so forth. These are all things that you need to learn first. So once more, educate yourself. Yes, Gerald is commenting here. I don't think Robinhood is available outside of the US. I think you're right, Gerald. They're introducing it, or they opened it up now for the United States, and only a few states really. But, this is something to just look forward to. I will keep you informed whether this is a thing that makes sense and how practical it is. I haven't tried it yet. Yes, 5 hours on Fork Delta. I'm tired. Yes, so let's look at my HODL list here that I published in December 2018 as the safe bet for newbies. Oh, before we get there, one more thing. You can pay for your World Cup soccer, football tickets in Russia with Bitcoin. Okay, so this is part of engaging, is that you actually start using, your cryptocurrencies also, so that the circulation and all that, so that the juices get flowing. Okay, so if you intend to go to the soccer World Championship this summer, you can pay in Bitcoin. Yes, so the HODL list here for secure, my HODL list for secure bets, and especially for people who really just want to get in, buy some cryptocurrencies, out of the top 20, 25 maybe, and then let it sit there for a couple of years, always, of course, with your own research and with your own sort of backup there, what your own heart is concerned. But my personal HODL list, these are the things that I have bet on, is of course the big four that I told you, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and then the infrastructure companies, Neo, EOS, some of the payment processors and lending firms. Vertitasium is still one of my favorite, Populous and Salt, infrastructure, Cardano, Ada, payment processors, Utrust, Iota, Paypie, Spectre, Populous, Civic. Those are, just to name a few. There's more. Digibyte, OmiseGO, Quantum, Adex, ICON, Verge, Lisk, and Komodo. Those are things that I have in my portfolio as my HODL list. And what I have done here, spending all this time on Fork Delta last night, was to buy into the dip, because for many of you that have been around for a while, you recognize as we're back at prices from last October, last November, which is almost like a second chance, So what does energy work have to do with this? And this is reflecting on the forecast for next week. Based on this collective energy sentiment, I can locate a certain chakras, certain energy centers that are triggered in us people and us humans, unbeknownst to most of the humans, which in the past have led to specific patterns of behavior. And this is how I make my own predictions, okay? And this is what this energy barometer here reflects. We're gonna be looking at first, fifth, and sixth chakra activity next week. Those are energy centers located in your body. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this, you can ask me to send you these infographics that can help you to identify this for yourself. First chakra, when first chakra issues are coming forward for the collective, the way it translates into the crypto market is can be in two ways. Well, first of all, first chakra has to do with our root, has to do with support, has a lot to do with money and security. And usually when there is an overstimulation or an imbalance there, then it leads to fear of loss. Fear of loss is one of the main characteristics of first chakra times, and we've seen this a lot here in the last 4 months. The last 4 months were heavy fear of loss times where people would sell low, and this is unfortunately one of the tragedies here of how the markets move and the dynamics. That if you don't know enough or if you can't trust in your vision, then you just want to get out. You just jump off the ship, which then creates this actual the actualization of loss. But when there's times like right now where we actually have positive signals along with this. What it will mainly do for you is that it will help you to differentiate the pumps and dumps. Okay, so we're gonna see pump and dump next week. That's one of the characteristics, the other characteristics of first chakra. But you're gonna be able now to discern better. You're gonna be able to apply what you've learned in these last 4 months. If you've been around for that long. If you just started with looking at the crypto market, then of course. You don't know what this means, and what it means is like stay calm. Okay, stay calm. Don't get your energy hooked into watching the crypto prices. Every hour. Let go. Learn to let go and learn to trust. All right. See the larger vision, and this is the fifth and the sixth chakra now that is playing into the energies, the crypto energies here for this next week. Fifth chakra is our expression. This is here around our throat. Has to do with truth. Has to do with congruence. We've seen a lot of revealing of truth and so forth. And it's still going on. Okay, this is the fifth chakra for the collective. Is that there's still this massive uncovering of truths and injustices, and this will continue, and this will also lead to a few unexpected surprises and attacks this week. Okay, so it's not all green yet. There's still this need to liberate ourselves out of this suppression of truth, and there's not going to be a peaceful resolution of this. So we're still seeing these forces, sort of battling a bit. And within ourselves, what this means is that we really need to pay attention to where our energy goes and what makes us strong and what is congruent. Authenticity. If you believe in cryptos, then don't buy into your own fear that comes through some of the FUD and the first chakra stuff. Stick with it. Be congruent and follow your impulse. And if you have to do it, then do a correction. Then realign yourself, recalibrate. I did this last night. I shifted some of my weighting within my portfolio, because some of the things seem to be moving faster. you know, such as like the wallets, for instance. I see them moving faster now than maybe some of the infrastructure coins. Data management and personal data sharing, those are things that I see more sort of within the next year. Okay, so making corrections, and this comes out of the power of your fifth chakra, comes from the ability to discern, but also from the willingness to make corrections. Okay, so don't shy away from using some of those crappy exchanges to make corrections. You know, of course, you know, most of you use Coinbase or Binance, you know, those are the easiest to use, but some tokens you simply can't buy there. Okay, so you have to deal with some of the exchanges that do not have that beautiful or nice, easy to use front end, but don't shy away from that. Okay, some of the tokens I've noticed kind of take advantage of people not wanting to go to exchanges. Sixth chakra is the vision, and this all wants to come together now. This is the vision. This is why I shared this picture of, you know, like where the totality of money is located at this very moment, and the kind of shifts that we're seeing and the pressure that is coming in. So there's a logic in that there's, you know, that money has to flow into this innovative cycle now, and you have to, you know, keep this in your vision. You have to see the larger picture. If you can't see that, you know, then you will just go from one impulse to the other, and this will not really create a good strategy for you. You'll always feel like things are just happening to you, okay, and you'll just be a fire putter outer and run to your exchange or to your wallet and do sudden shifts. So I wouldn't recommend this. You know, keep sort of this overall strategy in mind, and have a good solid, you know, a way of going about this. You know, say, okay, I'm willing to invest X amount of money, and I'm willing to let this sit there for X amount of time, say for a year or for 2 years, okay? And then that's your strategy, and then you decide which token you do this with. But as you observe it, you know, you become your own portfolio manager. You maybe shift things a bit, you know, you go into where things are moving a little faster, away from where it takes longer, just to improve things. Or you make minor corrections, you know, get rid of shit coins, things that you know, that you don't really identify with anymore, and just let go of them, and realize some of the losses and realize some of your profits in the profit process. That is part of correction as well. That is part of this combination of fifth and sixth chakra. So this is why I put the barometer here on this almost screen, because this is happening with a lot of people. We're seeing a lot of shifts. We can still see pumps and dumps here over the next week. So don't go into fear, you know, understand that a lot of people are making these corrections and recalibrations right now, and that but that there's an overall shift in sentiment to the positive, and we will see this, I'm pretty sure, here within the next 4 to 6 weeks. We'll see a massive influx of this already mentioned volume buying pressure. All right, guys. This is it. I would like to close with this. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. I love your hearts. Smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's really important. Oh, and one more thing, a big announcement here. Crypto Spiritual, you know this, I'm from Iceland. There is an professional mining facility available and ready to be taken for professional mining, available in Iceland for rent or for buy. Please contact me, Jona at transcodes.com, if you're interested. All right, this is serious stuff. Okay, this is serious, guys. All right, so, or redirect my email to others that want that are planning on expanding their mining facilities, or that are looking for something in Iceland. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a good week. Have a good engagement here, and hopefully exciting time with your crypto investments. Thank you. Bye-bye.